1 a.m. I believe it's a full moon as well. July 16th, here in Clint, Texas, at the Border Patrol facility, where 7 children have already died. I believe all have died here at this facility. I'm going to be reporting live and investigating this human tragedy, this act of inhumanity by politicians litigating and politicking about human lives, especially children's lives. Now, I've read enough of the refugee, Title 8 U.S. Section 1522. I believe it's the refugee. Forgot the whole name of it, but it talks about what needs to be done and how it should be done, how the governor should act and what he can and can't do. I don't know what these guys are taking so long on or what's going on, but the conditions that are here in El Paso, or I'm sorry, at Clint, here at the Border Patrol facility, are just out of control and out of hand, to where I think the people need to step in already. Crying out and asking whoever could come out here whenever they can, whatever time of day or night, and pass through. And if there's people here, pull over and talk to us, and let's see if we could do something. I'm trying to set a date to where I could get a mass amount of people here, and something can actually get accomplished other than a political view or a political debate over political parties or any such thing like that. Needs to stay out of this and stay to the side right now, because this isn't political. This is humanity. There should be no debate over this, and money should not be an issue. Tax dollars or whatever funds this government or this Border Patrol agency has, I'm sure it's quite enough to fund a natural disaster, which I would call this. A mass amount of people fled from another country, either because of military conflict, guerrilla conflict, violence, or whatever the fact may be. A group of people ran from a natural disaster over here. They are refugees. There's no debating this. You cannot criminalize something that is not criminal. Everything in this country already is almost criminalized. I think the people and the public need to wake up. I've read the facts and the issues on this topic, and it all boils down to the same thing. These politicians don't care about human lives, whether it's yours, mine, an adult, a U.S. citizen, a resident, naturalized citizen. If they don't care about little kids from wherever they are from, South America, Mexico, I don't care where they're from, they're little kids. To debate that is stupidity in my eyes. That's how I view it. I'm not saying I'm right for it, but anybody who can even sit there and argue the fact that these politicians have a right to debate this, or even people who might even say just put them on a plane and send them back, put them on a bus and send them back, or just kick them back into Mexico. Yeah, come on, man. I'm just asking people, instead of having a view or an opinion, something politically based, let's just come together with facts and with a common interest and with common goals, and leave things that are going to make division and make controversy amongst us. Leave that at home, leave that to the side. Let's come together and help these kids. I don't know if politicians usually use opportunities like this to get votes. But I hope that's not the issue in this case. I hope these politicians, the mayor and the governor, our congressmen, senators, whoever the politicians are who are in charge of this, need to act swiftly, as quick as possible, and stop debating and arguing and just do what needs to be done. I'm willing to dedicate my time to serve this cause, to help the kids. I'm not law enforcement. I'm not a teacher. I'm not a nurse. I'm none of that. I know how to take care. I know how to take care of kids, but I'm not a babysitter. But I mean, if I got to do it, I'm sure there's other people who are willing to do the same, who could come together to just maybe take it out of their hands because they can't handle it, and get this situation handled. Because it kind of makes me sad that this street, that this empty farm road in front of the facility has no campers, has no RVs, has no tents. This should be a campsite in front of this facility. And that's what I'm trying to do. So please, people, set your differences aside. Race, gang, political group, religion, church, all that stuff set to the side, and just put yourself in the shoes of these immigrants, of these refugees, of these human beings that traveled from another country, obviously because there was a natural or a man-made disaster. So let's fill this lot up with RVs and campers and fifth wheels and tents, and let's do this thing. Let's do this. El Paso, this is going to go down in history. This is like a, this doesn't have precedence since, I believe, the Cuban refugee incident a few decades ago. I'm not sure if there was one more recent than that, but in my lifetime, I really don't remember anything like this happening. I remember Elias, little boy Elias, and I don't even remember what that story was about, but I'm going to look into that and see what they did there and see if it has any relevance to this, but just for my interest. So please, El Paso, Las Cruces, Juarez, let's do something about this situation. And then once we put a stop to this inhumane act, maybe we could help some of our cousins, some of our aunts and uncles, our tias, our tios, our primas, our primos, our brothers, hermanos, hermanas, padres, madres, and help them if they're maybe in these facilities. Because I do know a lot of good people who are in these facilities for something that is not actually a crime. To criminalize something means that they made a crime of something that by definition probably doesn't meet the definition of crime. If it didn't hurt no one, if it doesn't cause damage to any woman or man's property, then there is no crime being committed. And I understand that because they fled their country and came here, there will be tax dollars affected, but that is not robbing or taking anybody or any man or woman's property. It's not depriving them of that. Those tax dollars are already there. They're in abundance, most likely. Don't want to get into the financial part on that. I'm not an expert. Don't want to talk on it. But I know this could be handled. I know this can be handled. And we have to not rely on groups and agencies and departments and start relying just on a man and a woman helping out a man and a woman, or a child or a boy or a girl. And stop relying on corporations and institutions and facilities and things like that to handle all your needs. They have proved that, I can't say they're wrong, I can't say they're right, but this ain't about politics, it's not about crime. These children didn't commit a crime, and anybody to say so, I think, is ignorant to a lot of facts of what's really going on. before you speak or get angry and let your ego and pride jump out and speak for you, read the facts on it. Don't read another man's opinion or review through the newspaper, but get to real hardcore facts, black and white, the point, and not a view or a perception or an opinion or anything like that. I think that's the problem here in these days in this country, is that everybody relies on social media for everything. When Donald Trump tweets something, it pretty much becomes law in this country. People start getting scared. The news takes over and starts talking about it, and it just gets crazy. Y'all need to learn how this system works. It's called due process. It's called law. The Constitution, statutes, codes, ordinances, policies, acts. What are they? What's the difference? We need to come together as human beings, people. I'm urging you, please. On this beautiful evening, or I'm sorry, morning already, July 16th, approximately 12:15 a.m. I'm out.